Welcome to Gel and Tell, episode 11. Today's episode, we are going to be talking about the perks and perils of having a business partner, because it is something that we get asked an awful lot about, is how does it actually feel running a business with your best friend?
Yeah, how does it work? We get people being like, oh, I could never do that.
And it's one of those where it is great, but it's also really challenging. So we're going to tell you all the stuff that no one else probably would tell you. Just talk a bit about like the reality of it, and some of the things that we do to make life easier, better, and business more rewarding together.
For anyone that's listening to the podcast for the very first time, a bit of context. We met a couple of years back working for the same company. So we have started our business together, having worked together before that, which I think, is definitely like a big part of why it just works, which we'll go into. But yeah, we worked together for 4 years before we started our own business. So yeah, that is where we then decided, let's just go for it. And it has been a great few months since. So yeah,
I think it's been 9 months now. We've made a baby.
it is really our baby, isn't it? Like, it is what we like think about when we wake up and we go to bed. Like, it's when you own a business, it's just the only thing that you think about all the time.
We love it though.
So I guess, like, maybe shall we start with, would we recommend it to others before we get into why?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to hear your thoughts.
So I think we're really lucky that we knew how each other worked and we liked working together. So I think that like where we've seen business partnerships go wrong before is people going into business with people they haven't worked with in the past.
Yeah.
So they might like them as a person and they might be great friends and they might get excited about ideas. But then when it actually comes down into the nitty-gritty day-to-day, the boring bits of running a business and being able to rely on someone to do a piece of work or help someone when they're struggling, I wouldn't necessarily recommend going into business with someone who you haven't done that with before. I think it's amazing to have the support, someone in your corner, someone that you can rely on, trust, work with, and not feel like isolated and stressed by yourself, because it is really hard running a business and there's a lot of pressure and weight that you carry. So being able to share that is such a special and amazing thing that I would recommend. But what I wouldn't recommend is getting a business partner that you haven't worked with before.
Yeah,
because
100%.
I think that is a
yeah, I completely agree with that. I think there's an element of like, they could be your best friend in the entire world, but if you've not worked with them and not seen like how they operate under stress, like their like work rate that they work at, like matches yours, like, because I think like there's an element with work, like patience can be a big thing. Like if you don't match up to like each other's like work rates, and like someone can get frustrated in their relationship, and then that's where like tension is caused and like disagreements start and all of that. So I think even if you absolutely adore that person and you think that it could really work, if you've not worked with them in any other capacity beforehand, I wouldn't recommend it.
And that could look like, say you have a friend and you think, oh, I'd love to set up a business with them. There's no reason why the two of you couldn't sort of start trading and working independently, but collaborate and partner on certain projects and get work experience together in a collaborative basis to then decide, how does this work? Like, are we enjoying running an event together, working on certain client projects together? And if yes, and it's feeling really good, then you can set up a company and business together. But there is also like a step and intermediary bit in between where just because you've got an idea doesn't mean you have to go straight into a business partnership with someone. You can stress test the relationship. We've seen business partnerships across the years where people are, a big stakeholder in a company and doing absolutely fuck all. And then that causes strain because the other partner or partners are thinking, well, why are we giving you X percentage of the company when you don't contribute?
Yeah.
And that's not cool or fair, but it happens, especially when you go into business with someone that has multiple ventures. Like, and I'm talking like, they're investors in different companies, they running different operations and businesses, and their focus is really split. And like, then the expectation is that they're getting the same percentage as you, but they're not putting the same amount of work in. And that's only ever going to cause disagreements and resentment.
I think that's definitely a big part of the whole thinking. before you go into business with someone. The other thing that I would say, reflecting on why we started the business together in the first place, was like our long-term goals as people, and like and values, and what do we want from our life later down the line. And I think, I don't want to speak on your behalf, but like we both wanted to be fully self-employed at some point in our life. Like we always wanted to start our own business and go all in on that, whether that would be doing it with someone else or doing it by ourselves. Like that was always part of the picture for both of us. And it just so happened that we found each other and it works, and we decided to do it together. So yeah, I think we've had a lot of discussions before we started the business where we're like, okay, like what's important to you? Because
Yeah.
you don't want to go into business with someone that, is thinking about this short term. If you are thinking about it, this is how I'm going to support my family in the future, or like how I'm going to build like, my life in the future. Like if someone is looking at it completely differently to you, there's going to be more disagreements and more clashes later down the line, because you've not had these conversations in the first place before going into business with them. So I would say it's like, yes, it's that like work that happens once you start the business. Like, do they match you and like how you operate and how you work? But then also, are they aligned in what you want from your future, and like why you're starting that business in the first place? And I feel
Yeah.
like, again, we've been so lucky to have very similar like views on that.
Yeah. What did you tell me once when I said, "Oh, we're so lucky," and you went, no, did you say we deserve each other, or we've earned each other, or
Right.
something like that?
I
And it
think
was
there's
really
an
cute.
element of luck, isn't there? Because, like, we always reflect on this, and it's so cool. But like, we come from completely two different worlds, and just so happened that we met each other, and we're very similar, very different in ways as well, but like very similar in a lot of ways. But it's very rare that you find someone that like you're gelled up well with.
Wait. Oh shit. Wait, I was trying to press the button. Hang on, I'm gonna.
Guys, Georgia is hosting for the very first time on this podcast.
I love that. Good use of the brand. One of our mentors, when we were first starting out the business, who actually turned out being one of our clients, which is really a nice sort of circle, he said to me in a conversation, I can't remember if we were both in the room or whether it was me.
You came and told me after you had that conversation.
So he said, before like you fully move into the business in terms of like trading, like we'd obviously got the idea, and I was talking to him about like how excited I was about it, and he said it's amazing, and he'd worked and mentored both of us actually because he was our boss before, and he said you need to sit down and have like a really frank conversation, and go through what are your like 3, 5, 10-year goals. Why do you want to build this business? What does the perfect future state of that business look like? How big's the team? What are the operations like? What are you doing on a day-to-day basis? And make sure that whatever you share with each other is fully honest, but also like that you're okay with each other's kind of like pathway. And like, if one of you wants to build a massive team or have like a unicorn tech business, and the other one wants like a boutique consultancy that's, generating like £1 million a year or whatever, like make sure that they are aligned, because if you start on a path and then you realize 5 years down the road that you both want a different end goal, like what a shame. I think that was a really useful just like point where he said that to me because of his experiences of setting up businesses and there not being alignment in necessarily like what the business was becoming, that we had those conversations. And like you say, Nora, we were like amazingly so aligned in terms of our goals and what we want out of life and what we don't as well.
Yeah.
And neither of us are sat here being like, oh my god, I have to be a billionaire or whatever. Like there's no ambition to be like stinking rich. We want to be comfortable. Yeah, we want to build wealth for our families, but we want to live a happy, fulfilled life where we make a difference and enjoy work. We're not like working to like, is it living to work or work to live? I can never remember which one it is. But like some people say they live to
I live
work.
to work. I work
You
to
work to live. Yeah. But then like, because we love our work, I love work and I work to live. But like, I don't think it really applies to us necessarily. But like enjoying showing up every day, not waking up and thinking, fuck, I've got to go to work today. Waking up and being like, I can't wait to continue building this and working on the business and with our clients and with each other. That feeling of like every day feels like a blessing and like it's a really enjoyable thing, I think just translates through our whole business and how we show up, how we support our clients, the results that they get, how we create content and do our marketing, and how people, talk to us and receive the brand, like that all comes from what we want out of it. So if that was misaligned from the start, then the partnership would have been built on a really rocky foundation.
I think it was one of the best pieces of advice that we could have been given at the start. I'm very grateful for that, because then it forced us to have like deeper conversations, I think.
Yeah. And about finances too, which I don't think a lot of friends are as transparent about their financial situations,
Yeah.
which if you're not comfortable talking about money, like with anyone or with a specific individual, like do not go into business with them, because like we are 50% shareholders in our business. So we earn the same. Like there's no way that one of us could take more dividends than the other. That's just not how things go. You know, we accept that by doing this, we will be earning the same amount of money. So it's kind of just like, you need to be transparent about how much do you want to be earning, how much can we take out the business, how much do you need this month. You know, there's been months where like I've like made a purchase on something and been like, Nora, please can we pay ourselves and go into my overdraft, you know? And like I'm not afraid or embarrassed to tell you that, because we are where we are. But I think it's like being open about money is something that you have to do with a business partner in light of the business, but in your personal circumstances too. Which a lot of people may not be comfortable doing, but it's a non-negotiable.
That's quite an interesting one, because I was thinking about it last night, because I knew we were going to record the podcast today. And as much as
it's payday, right? We're going to get paid today, right?
Yeah.
Because I need it.
Like, Nora, I get that look every month, guys.
It's getting light.
Yeah. What I was thinking about last night was like, I think there's something so powerful about the fact that we are, you know, really good friends. Because I don't know, and this is maybe a question to you, like, do you think could two people that are business partners but not have that friendship in place, could that work? Because I think a lot of that stems from a bit of like blind trust for each other as well. Like there's a big element of trust and a big element of saying what's on your mind without feeling like you're going to be judged by the other person. And I do think that has come from like a really good, genuine friendship that we have created across the years. I do think we've become a lot closer the last, I would say, 2 years, but like, I don't know if us not having that would have made things worse, or I think it would have probably not worked out if we didn't have that in place.
I think it's interesting, and maybe it depends on the business and the people, because possibly in some cases, like business partners are not friends when they go into business together. You know, I don't know how business partners really meet each other if they're not friends or connections in some way.
I guess it depends on the type of business as well, because like if they're looking for like, you know, co-founders to then go and get investment and like stuff like that, like there are forums and like, you know, platforms for entrepreneurs that, you know, are looking to buy businesses and like X, Y, and Z. So like I think it depends on the context of the business and like what type of business it is and what you're looking, you know, what is there an exit plan for the business, like all of that stuff that I think, you know. So yes, possibly there is a world where people don't know each other before they go into business together.
That's hard though, because then you're like not only got the stress of setting up a business, but you're also trying to learn someone's behaviors, tells, like, you know, which buttons you can't push, which ones you can, like when they're stressed, when they need help, you know. Like I think there's a lot of stuff that you learn about someone when you work with them, regardless of whether you're in business or whether you just as a colleague. You can tell when someone's having a difficult day, or when you need to, like, you know, help them out with a piece of work if it's not where it needs to be. Giving feedback. There's loads of things that, you know, impacted by how well you know someone. But I think you probably could build a business with someone that you weren't friends with. I just don't know if it would be fun.
Yeah. I think like a lot of the foundations that you're basing that like business partner relationship on is on that trust element. And like, can you trust a stranger? I don't know. Like that, it was so weird, because I was just thinking about it last night. I was like, yeah,
because they've got access to everything in the business, right? They would have access to all your payment processing, your client data, your systems, tools, like, so you have to trust that they're not going to, I don't know what someone could realistically do, or like delete it all, like what are they going to win from that? Or like just, it's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? But I can't imagine that feeling.
What do you think is the best part about us working together and being in together?
There's so many good parts. I think like what's so nice is like, well, I don't even know which one I'd choose first. I love the fact that we basically just talk all day.
We don't stop. And it's like it might be on Slack, then it's on WhatsApp, then it's randomly on Instagram, and it's like in 4 different platforms at any given point.
And then we're on FaceTime doing random things like packing your suitcase and just chatting shit like friends do. And then next thing we're like building something at 8 p.m. at night on Claude Co-work, or like we are on a Slack huddle at 8 a.m. sorting something out. One of us doing our hair, one of us is on dog walk, one of us is this, that, and the other. But then we're still moving the needle and growing the business
Yeah.
whilst we're just having a good time and yapping all day. It's really nice to have that kind of connection and like I think that one thing I love is that like, and this is maybe just more of a comment on our friendship, is just like I don't think there's ever been a moment where we've not had something to talk about.
No, we never
We
run
just
out
don't
of
run
things to
out.
talk
Like
about. It's
we could spend like, well, we do spend every day pretty much all day talking together. But the funniest part is when we've like finished work, because it doesn't really finish when you're running a business, but like
then
we've
we'll
logged
call and
off.
like, it's like we've not talked about work, and I'll just tell you something random about my life. And it's
We'll be
like,
like yapping or sending reels or like talking about something else or having a conversation on WhatsApp. I do think our partners must just be like baffled by the
I do think that both of them have now like just accepted the fact that we're part of each other's lives, really. And I think they both enjoy it, to be honest, because we're both pretty
we're both really pretty.
no, we're both pretty intense, but in a good way.
Would you not think that maybe it like because we have that for each other, that then it takes that out from them having to deal or listen to it so much, so then they kind of like, oh great, like one thing less that I have to deal with today is listening to work stuff
But
or
sometimes
listening
it's
to
like we, double up, and then it's like one of them gets two of us at one point, and they're like, whoa.
jokes. Yeah, that's so funny. What do you think the best part about working together is?
I genuinely think that it wouldn't be as fun. Like, we genuinely have so much fun. Don't get me wrong, there's difficult times, and we'll get into that. But I can't wait to wake up and work on our business. Like, I genuinely cannot wait. Like, I wake up every day and I'm looking forward to starting my day because I know I'm going to see you. And the days that you're not in, I don't feel great. It's
Oh
not.
my gosh. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Yesterday was a dark day for me. Well, I mean, I was all right, but like I'd got quite a bit of work done. But I was like, because Nora was flying to Cyprus and I was like on my ones. And I must have, I think I had 6 client calls. Love you guys if you're listening. It wasn't you, it was me. But it was just like you weren't there. And I was like, da-da, where is she? I was like, so like I felt like my arm was missing.
Yeah, it feels so strange because I genuinely feel like we spoke about this before. Like we've not like it's not best friend level anymore. It's like more of a sister vibe. It's like it's to that point where like we genuinely talk all the time that we feel like you're part of my life and I'm part of your life, and it feels so strange when like one of us is just busy and
Yeah.
like
Excuse me, you're not allowed to be busy. You need to come back. Yeah, and I think you probably got more of a steer on that because I don't have a sister, so like I don't know like what that kind of, obviously got a brother, but don't know what that kind of like sistery feeling is. But I can imagine it's like our relationship.
just very natural. It's what going back to what I said initially, is just that like no judgment. You can call each other anytime. You don't have to ask. Like it's just that thing that you've got me, I've got you, and
Yeah.
it's just a really cool thing to have. And I think the business has helped us get to that point
Yeah.
because we've had very difficult conversations.
Yeah. Is that the nice segue into what's not so glamorous and good about it? Because I do think like we did say the stuff that no one tells you, and I don't think that like people probably talk about this enough, and we probably don't either, because we're not going to be putting up on a story like, oh, we've like argued today and
No,
one of us is on tears on Slack. Like, we're not going to be like sharing that on Instagram, and I don't think we should have to either, because as much as it's a
no.
highlight reel, like it's none of anyone's fucking business. But if you're listening now, you're gonna just hear a bit about it, because I think it is probably useful to share. So what do you think surprised you most, like in terms of like the reality check? What do you think you weren't expecting about us being business partners?
It's not that I wasn't expecting it, but I think with any relationship comes, friction at times. Like there's no good, healthy relationship, whether that's, with your partner or your friends, that doesn't come with disagreements at points because you're different people. And, I think it's just how you navigate that. And I think because we were working together in the past, but not own the business together, and I think that's very different, we didn't have as much responsibility, I would say, on taking certain decisions that we didn't think we'd have conflicting opinions on. Or I think we've learned how to navigate these conflicts, and it's not always been easy. I think we've improved across the last few months of having to deal with them. And the thing that I think has helped that is getting to the point where our relationship is the way that it is. And, no matter what's happening in the business and no matter the different opinions that we have, at the end of the day, we are both benefiting equally from this or hurting equally from this, because we are in this together. No matter the fact that we've got different opinions, that opinion stems from wanting what's best for the business.
Exactly.
And it's so difficult to get your head around that when you're in that conflict. But yeah,
that's brilliant. And it makes a lot of sense, because the natural thing is when you have like a strong stance on something and you believe like your opinion to be the right way of doing something, the natural thinking is that the other person is wrong, or that like their opinion doesn't help the same thing. But like you have to flip it and say like they genuinely think this is the right direction and the best thing for the business. And it's not like trying to one up the other person or like be right. It's like we're both always coming from like what do we believe is the best thing for the business right now and the decision to take. And that's hard because there's no linear way to build a business. There's no black and white, this is the absolute not. And like sometimes we get it wrong and we change, and we would never say like I was like steadfast on something, this is the way we have to do it, like, and I was like, no, I don't agree with you, blah 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 blah, and you said okay fine, let's do it your way, like, and we agreed to that, and then it turns out my way was actually not right. Like I'm never going to be like, I would say like, hold my hands up, like wrong decision, like we should have gone with what you said originally. And this has actually happened, and I can think of an exact one. We had a client a few months ago, and you said to me, let's let them go, like let's literally fire the client. And I was like, no, like we can make it work, and you were right, and it ended up like they left, which was fine, and clients leave and that's the nature of it, but like it could have ended on better terms had we pulled the plug when you said to. But I was like, no, like I can fix it kind of thing. And the truth was like you were right, we couldn't fix it and we should have made that decision earlier, but we learned from it, and the next time when we feel that, we'll act on it then rather than try and like long it out. And that, to be fair, I don't think that was like a particular moment of contention. I don't think we like argued over that, but it's just an example of a disagreement where we went one way and it wasn't the right way. But then I remember like when it happened after being like, oh my God, you were so right, I'm sorry, like next time this is how we respond. And I think
that's like the follow-up on that. Like I remember telling you like it was a joint decision. Like as much as we disagreed on something, we didn't argue, but we disagreed, we had differing opinions on it. We went with, we can't go with both opinions. Like that's the reality of it. When it's two people, you just need to go with one. We went with that opinion, but at the end of the day, we both agreed to do that. So I went back, and said to you, like, it's not your fault, because you were blaming yourself after that. You were like, oh, we should have done that, like, a few months ago. And I'm like, no, like, it was something that we both decided, as much as it wasn't what I initially thought was best. And we decided to go with what you thought. Like, it was still a decision that we made together.
Yeah.
And and that's the same thing with like whenever we go with something that I think and it doesn't turn out to be, you tell me the same thing. We've faced those like moments together where we've had to just you back each other regardless if it's what you thought initially.
Yeah. Or whether it's good or bad, right? Like we win together, we lose together, and that's just the nature of the beast, right? Like, and it's not easy. And I do think it's harder than I expected, those moments. Not necessarily that example, because I don't think like that got heated, but like when things get heated, which they do probably, like, I don't even know if it's once a month. I'd say maybe at least once every other month, I say we have like a heated disagreement. Would you say?
Yeah, I would say.
Do you reckon it's once a month, or do you think it's once every other month?
I think we went through a phase that it was multiple times a month, but I think it was
Oh, we did. I don't know what happened there. Do you think it's
a challenging time for both of us because we were going through other stuff
I can't even remember when it was, but I do remember like we were like, fucking hell, why are we arguing like every week?
Yeah, it
I don't
was
know whether it's like when the business started to get quite busy and like it went from being quite like almost like a passion side thing to like the full thing. Do you think it's when it started to ramp a bit?
possibly, yeah. I think that might have been the. And I remember feeling so like I was just so sad during that time. I guess this is like the worst part about being in business with your best friend is like when something happens and you're trying to process it and you want to talk to someone about it, you feel like you have no one to talk to because that person that you want to talk to is your business partner. And you're like,
Yeah, the person you're pissed off with is the person you want to talk to.
it's like the most weird thing to like, yeah, just comprehend. Yeah, it's just so weird going through that phase whenever we fight, and like it's quite an argument and then it's heated.
Yeah, imagine having a Cypriot woman get annoyed at you.
Oh wow.
I mean, what did you say to me yesterday? You were like, you're becoming more Cypriot and I'm becoming more British or something. Because like discussions are like, you're like, ooh, that was quite direct, G. The Cypriot's really rubbing off on you.
I think yeah, it's but having those moments really affect me in the other areas of my life. Like I can't like if we have an argument, I probably want to stay at home and not do anything and not talk to anyone because I cannot.
It's so
Yeah.
sad. And I completely agree. Like, it's like, and I don't know whether it is because, in all honesty, I don't really argue with my friends. Like,
You
I
know,
avoid conflict. Oh yeah, I just bin people off.
you just
I
ignore.
don't, and oh, I do. I ghost. I just go fuck you. Then I'm not interested. So like, I don't really fight with people because I don't fight for the friendship. So I just think if you're not my person, if your energy or whatever, if you've been rude to me, or if you said something behind my back I didn't like, whatever it is, I just like rather than like get into it. Like I'm not the kind of person that's going to fight with someone in the pub or like
Yeah,
have a back and forth over text. No, I just bin.
you
I
just
just and then
yeah.
I just move on. So like that's that's just how I am, and maybe it is like some sort of conflict avoidance, but we cannot avoid conflict. So like when we do, I'm like, oh god, I'm not used to this. I don't like it. Like I don't like, and then I'm like, reply to me, reply to me. I need you to talk to me. Like I hate it when you ignore me so much, and I'm like,
Ignore you. I
yeah, I
don't.
know, but like I know you're not ignoring me, but like I'm like so impatient. I'm just like, can we sort it out, please? Can we talk now? Can I ring you now? Send me an emoji so I know you're okay.
The thing is like we both know when one of us is spilling off because we text differently.
So you say this, but I don't always know the difference.
I know the difference, and I'm always right.
What are my tells then on text then? Because I don't know the difference.
Well, naturally, I would say you use a lot of emojis and like you use like not the thumbs up. We hate the thumbs up.
I love the thumbs up. Nora thinks thumbs up's rude, but I just don't
No,
understand because
thumbs
it's
up.
like,
If you sent me a thumbs up emoji, for anyone listening, if you're my friend and you send me a thumbs up emoji, I think you're mad at me. I think you don't want me to talk to you. And it's basically like telling me shut up. Like it's like, oh Nora, stop talking.
this would be shut up. Boo. This is
No,
yay, good job. Good job, honey.
no. But yeah, you switch off all of the emojis and then it's just like one word answers. Like
Really?
yeah.
I mean, that's so bait. Why am I baiting myself out? Now I know now.
Yeah. And it might not be directed towards me, by the way. There's times where you are going through something completely different and doesn't have anything to do with me, but I'll still notice that there's something going on.
Wow. Psychic. Psychic emoji.
No, but I think you can do that with me as well.
I mean, I know when you're not being as forthcoming, and I know when something's on your mind, or if I've done something, and then I'll be like, "What, but Dan? What, but Dan?" And then you'll say like, "Nothing. I'm cool." And I'm like, "Fuck off. Tell me what it is." And then you will tell me like 48 hours after, and I'll be like, "Right, okay. Could you not have told me this 48 hours ago?" But you take time to process it, so I'm learning that.
I do.
But so I get so impatient when I know something's up, but you're not telling me what it is, and I'm like, "I could have fixed that 2 days ago, Nora. I could have said sorry for whatever stupid thing I did, but you just take your time."
You take your time as well. Okay,
Do I?
one thing is we're both overthinkers. Like we both overthink so much and take like a tiny thing that might have happened
Oh,
and
God.
like make up all these like
Oh my gosh, it's like the smallest thing can be a massive domino effect. If you actually think about any of our like general disagreements or like times, when you boil them back, they're normally over something so minute.
yeah.
Really. Like there's never been like a big one, like there's never been like a oh my God, like you did this like really detrimental thing for the business, or like you said this
Yeah.
really like whatever
It's never
thing.
that
Like
way. Yeah.
it's always something quite like small, but then in the moment it feels a lot bigger. And I don't know if that's just like a general thing when people disagree with their like partners, friends, business partners, I don't know. But
I
for
think
ours, they're always quite interestingly.
we sound so dramatic. People will listen to this and be like, "Oh God, what's happening?" But yeah, I don't think it's ever been anything extreme or anything, too, too detrimental to the business or anything. I don't think it's ever been anything detrimental to the business, to be honest. I think one thing that we've had to face was like, and I don't think this is business partner related, but like we've had to learn like how we are differently in terms of like culture as well. We've had to learn about each other so many things, which is not a bad thing. It's really cool, and I've learned so much about like, British culture through you, and like you've had to
You
learn a lot of,
lucky fucker. You lucky,
yeah,
lucky.
learned so much about like obviously my culture and like where I come from. So it's been a learning curve for both of us, I think.
Yeah, 100%. And it's sometimes small things. I remember once I'd said to you that we'd fallen out and that really upset you. And I was
Yeah,
like, oh no, I just mean like we've just had a disagreement. We just had a little fallout. Like I didn't mean it as like a big fallout, like we're never going to be friends again or something. But obviously your understanding of what a fallout was like really bad. And I said it so candidly and you were like, what? No, like, and I was like, yeah, we just fell out. Like,
yeah,
it's fine. We're chill. And you were like, no, it's not. And I was like, oh God, no. Like, and then we have to sometimes like unpick something and be like, it's not actually like
yeah,
that, or like I don't mean it like that. I mean, I wouldn't say the thumbs up emoji is a cultural thing. I'd say that's a you thing. Uh but definitely like just sometimes small things that wouldn't even know. But we do, yeah, we learn a lot about
yeah.
the different cultures. I'm so excited to go to Cyprus next week. Hot off the press.
Oh,
I'm traveling to Cyprus.
it's going to be so much fun. We're spending a week in sunny Cyprus.
It's going to be so good.
Have you ever had a moment where you thought, oh, like after this agreement, like, yeah, that's it. This business is done. No?
No, I don't think so. I think there's been moments where I'll be like, oh, fuck it, and like I'll get annoyed, and then I'll just go on like a dog walk and like calm down, and I'll be fine. But there's never once been a moment where I've gone like I can't do this, or I don't want this anymore, or like I don't think the business is like. I've never doubted that.
Yeah.
I've like got frustrated and upset about things, which in hindsight weren't big things at all. But never once has that led to me like doubting the business, the path, the plan, like anything like that.
Yeah.
What about you? Have you?
No, not the plan, not the business, not what I want to do. I think we both had conversations where we thought the other person.
Oh, yeah, that's paranoia. That's more like the overthinking paranoia, more so than like it being a, yeah, that's a really interesting one. So when there have been times where things have got heated, for some reason, like the brain can trick you into thinking, okay, the other person doesn't want to do this anymore. Like,
Yeah.
they don't want to be here with me. Like, they don't want to build this anymore. Like, oh my God, it's all going to explode and we're going to have to like, I don't know what. But like, that is a really horrible thing that I think probably no one admits to, is like even though you trust the person, you love the person, it's all going really well, like it's like a weird form of imposter syndrome, but it's like it comes in and it's like she's going to leave you high and dry. She doesn't want to be here anymore. She's building something else somewhere else and isn't going to like whatever. And it's like, that's mental. Like, stop it. Like, she's working 12-hour days and you're on the phone all day. Why would your brain try and lie to you and make you paranoid? That that's a really weird one. But I have had that, and you've had that, and we've spoken about it, and it is like just something you have to squash and be like, it's not real, it's your brain.
Conversations like this, opening up and telling that person, this is how I felt, like I think that's what got us to become as close as we are now, where you then, whatever comes our way, you're like, okay, even though we don't agree on this, we both want the same thing, and like reassured each other. It's what I meant about blind trust earlier. Like, you can't guarantee anything in life, really, can you? But like, it's just we're choosing each other every single day, going into business together and working towards that same goal. And we just need to be, fully trusting one another.
Okay. What is your biggest business partner ick? Oh God. Go on, say it.
Sometimes maybe a customer will message something and you panic instantly and try to fix it there and then, even though we might be working on something completely different that's equally important for the business. You're like, no, Nora, like, we're doing this now. And I'm like, okay, I need to give her space and time to process this. And I'm just sitting there on the call, by the way, whilst Georgia is like,
oh God, my one track mind. I'm like, must do it now. It's like hyperfixate on one thing. Yeah, I do.
yeah, bless you. Like, it comes from a very good place. You really, like, we both really care about our clients, but I think I respond very differently to that versus how you do. I think your response is more like reactive, like,
Yeah.
do it now. My response is more like not delayed. It's just like, okay, like this is important, but let's add it to our to-do list and like let's block it out to do it sometime like later today, or like, but no, you're like, do it now. Like this is what the
I do that. I do. Yeah, I do that all the
what's
time.
your you can be honest. It's fine.
I'm trying to think. I'm actually like struggling to think of something.
Guys.
You are pretty perfect, to be fair. What is my biggest? I don't actually know if I can think of one, which is really bad. Which is good for
Sometimes you
you.
get frustrated with me when I am too chill.
No, I like that.
No, but sometimes you're like, what? Do you not care?
No, but I need that because it validates that I'm overreacting. We've spoken about this because it's often the other way around. So, like, if I'm getting anxious about something, but you're chill, then it helps my nervous system realize that I don't have anything to be anxious about. And then when you're anxious and I'm chill, which is often weirdly the yin to the yang, like whatever stresses me out, you don't care about, not like in a bad way, but in like a, like, it's fine. And then the opposite. So, like, you'll be like, and I'll be like, I can do that, or it's fine, we'll just do this, or like, no biggie, it's chill. And then it kind of weirdly balances. So I actually love that. I wouldn't call it an ick, I'd call it a blessing. I think, my biggest ick is when you get your biceps out on calls. I'm joking, yeah, like that. Oh, I'm kidding. Yeah, I actually can't think of one, sorry. I mean, it's a really good thing for you. You're perfect.
Okay, I'll take it. Because I told people my
No, but yours is completely fair. But I also think it's one of my like
it
my
is. I do
specials.
yeah, I do really like every time it happens, I'm like, here we go again.
But then it's done, and it's done quickly.
And then it's great, and then the client's happy, Georgia's happy, so Nora's happy.
Yeah, exactly. Happy wife, happy life. Right, who's more likely to late?
I don't think either of us are very late. Sometimes we might be doing stuff and we join a call and then we're like texting each other like right there, you might be watching decks and then like be like, oh, like yeah. But I don't think we are deliberately late, just
I think you are later to calls than me.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, that
Sometimes
might be.
I want last minute, I'm like, I could use a coffee.
No, I think sometimes, like when you don't, no, not client calls, like random calls, and you don't really want to be there. Sometimes I feel like you leave it for 5 minutes, so I have to do the small talk, and then you can just arrive for the work stuff. Yeah, you do. You do it on purpose. That's my biggest ick. But in real life settings and like arriving at events and stuff, I think we're both pretty on time.
You don't do that on client calls.
Not client calls, but like I don't know
Sometimes
what
we
kind
have
of
meetings that
you don't want to go
because
to.
you're great at small talk, though. I'm not. I found another ick.
Go on then.
When you ask me to introduce myself, I'm like, oh, I don't want to be here. Like,
yeah,
please.
but I always feel like when I'm introducing you to someone, so but be it like I don't know, like a potential like collab or like some other business or a new client or whatever, like I can introduce you for you, but then it doesn't give you the opportunity to like speak and get to know them as much. So I'm always just like, oh, do you want to like introduce yourself? And you're like, not again.
Yeah, it's not my favorite thing in the world. It's just I find it very awkward introducing myself. I could introduce you, ask me to introduce you, fine. But then myself, I get so awkward.
I mean, I can do your intros for you moving forward if you prefer, but then I feel like it feels like I'm talking on your behalf and you don't get the opportunity to take the center stage and be like, hi, I'm Nora. But that's fair because I do that to you all the time. It's so funny.
Who's more likely to overthink?
Both of us overthink a lot.
Yeah, I feel both of us are quite bad at overthinking.
Yeah. Who's more likely to avoid messages?
You.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, fair. No comment. Who's the most organized?
Me.
Yeah.
You like process it after you say yeah.
That's true. Who's the most creative?
I would say you. Well, I think design-wise, me. Copy-wise, you.
Yeah, I'd say creative concepts. So coming up with like ideas for campaigns and like writing them, me, but making things look pretty, you.
Yeah.
Because I'm,
so cool how like we're so like complementary.
Our skill sets align so well, it's actually mental. Like, it is the yin to the yang.
It is.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because I like coming up with the idea, writing it, building like the path and like how it all links, and then like you'll be like, oh my god, that's mental. Why have you come up with that? That's mad. I love it. And then you'll be able to like shoot it nicely or edit it and like make it so that like it comes to life visually pleasing.
Yeah.
Whereas like that's the bit I don't like.
Yeah.
I've got the vision, but you get when I'm like explaining it, you can see it and then you can make it that way.
Yeah.
That's what I like. I appreciate that so much because yeah, it's not easy. Would you like business takeaway of the week? I actually wrote something yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when I was on a call.
Okay, so what's your business takeaway of the week?
It was the thought of the day. And I wrote, don't build a business you can't run. Because I think some people build a business and they can't operate it because they don't know enough about it. They're not interested in it. So then they end up with a business that they physically can't run. So they can't deliver the service. They don't understand it. They don't understand the industry. They don't want to run it. And it sounds really obvious, but like, don't build a business you can't or don't want to run because what's the point? I think if you're making a business to make money, it's the wrong reason to grow it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I think that's
That was my reflection whilst being on a call, but I won't name who I was talking to because that would be rude.
Yeah, but I'm making very obvious someone.
Hey, what was your thought of the week or takeaway of the week?
Yesterday was while I was on the plane. I was working the entire time, and then the person next to me was so impressed by that, and they were like, "Oh, like what do you do?" And then I talked to them about gel, and then they were like, "Oh, like so, like could you not like switch off?" And I was like, "No, but like I could." But I don't want to. I really love working on the business. So my takeaway of the week is like, if you're building a business, build something that you really love. So then you look forward to doing it, even when it's not very normal, for example, on a flight. So yeah, I really, I'm feeling so much more fulfilled and like happy in the work that we do. And it's just, people are seeing it around us. Like we're getting so many compliments about our content, about like, you know, the energy that we show to our clients. Our clients are so happy for us, which is genuinely like one of the nicest things to like experience as a business owner. And yeah, I feel like we're doing a great job and we should be proud of that. And I'm proud of us.
Me too. Oh, well, cute. A cute episode. Thank you for listening. And if you have any questions on this, please do send us a message. I think it's you know, something that we would love to help anyone with if they are looking to set up a business or if they want any advice as well. Let us know. But have an amazing week, and we'll see you next week for a special guest episode. And we're not going to tell you who it's with, so we'll see you next week.
See you there.